Greetings one and all, my name is Lancer, welcome back once again to Fate Zero. We'll be watching episode 12. Last time on, just one of the best episodes in any anime ever. The Grail dialogue, the talk between the King of Conquerors, King of Knights, and King of Heroes. The ultimate dismantling of Saber's ideology, as well as the unveiling of Rider's Ionian Hetairoi, his ultimate move. It was so good, and I'm kind of vocally drained from talking for that episode, but there's a lot more that has to be talked about going into the end of this first part of Fate Zero, so let's get right into the episode.
What of Rider's noble phantasm?
Right, there are other characters.
Equal to that of Gilgamesh's Gate of Babylon.
Yeah.
Too powerful to be given a rank.
It all ended exactly as we planned.
Too powerful to be given a rank. Well, Gilgamesh has something like that too. Rip assassin, first servant death.
This will begin the second stage. We will use the information Assassin gathered for us to have Archer defeat our enemies. Thank you for your fine work as a master.
Kirei served his purpose. As far as Tokiomi's concerned, he has, but speaking of Gilgamesh, he has other ideas.
Where are we with our new base of operations?
Tomorrow morning, I will take Saber and Madam there.
New base. Because, yeah, this castle is fucked. What have you been up to, old boy? He eats. He is human.
Since Assassin's attack on the very first day, Tokiomi hasn't left the building.
Well, yeah, of course.
The Mato Master appears undefended. An easy target. But
Almost too easy.
Berserker's strange special ability suggests that he should be left alive to distract Archer and Tosaka.
Small little recap.
But Lancer still remains. We must discover his new master's identity as soon as humanly possible. Castor's location remains unknown. But last night, several children vanished from the city again.
Honestly, if I was a parent in Fuyuki, I'd be like, we're getting the fuck out. How many kids have they killed at this point?
However large-hearted he may seem, he is a dangerous foe.
Yeah.
Furthermore, I'm quite concerned about the Ionian Hetairoi that Maya reported.
Maya was there?
Is it safe to assume that Assassin has been completely destroyed?
In that case, his master.
Kirei's out of the war? Would it be okay to hope that?
If his plan was to work with Tosaka, using Assassin to spy on the others, then he should have never been able to leave Fuyuki Church.
Yeah, he's been leaving.
Of course it all fits, assuming he was after me. But why? He should have had no way of knowing for certain that I am Saber's master.
Well, I mean, they know you
Kirei
exist.
Kotomine, who are you?
Well, you were just looking in the mirror. Speaking of which, I want this chessboard.
It seems I've found another form of pleasure.
As he holds the saber piece. I mean, that builds into how he views her later.
I am now curious to see this Holy Grail war through to its end. Those who harbor grand ambitions but are unequal to the task. The mere sight of such people gives me great enjoyment. There are two kinds of arrogance. One where you are unequal to the task, and one where your dreams are too big. The former is just commonplace stupidity, but the latter is a rare species difficult to find.
But they are identical in that both kinds are fools, are they not?
Who's more foolish, the fool or the fool who follows him?
There are those who were born human, but harbor wishes that man was not meant for, and have renounced their humanity in its pursuit. I simply never grow weary of watching their grief and despair.
Birds of a feather, these two.
For once, you seem almost strangely pleased.
I've finally been freed from a most unpleasant burden.
Assassin.
What becomes of the command seals once they disappear?
The Holy Grail repossesses the unused command seals from any master who has lost his servant and has withdrawn from the war. If for whatever reason a servant loses its master, the Grail will give those seals to a newly chosen master, assuming one can be found before the war is over.
Or before they start to vanish. Like, because that's still the thing. It's like, because servants have their own level of mana that they're, I guess, born with. I mean, in the archer class, it's like, oh, they can last for a couple days without a master, but that's specifically for archers. And obviously, casters can last for a while because their, main thing is mana consumption. So, it depends on the class, I guess. Some will start to disappear faster than others without a master. I mean, we know what happens to the command seal. The unused ones are given to the head of the church.
Any remaining seals are given to the overseer for
Yeah.
safekeeping.
At the end.
A new master may yet appear and enter the fight for the Grail.
Possibly. But the Holy Grail does not deem many on this earth to be worthy of that role. When a replacement master is sought, The Grail tends to select one of those whom it had previously considered.
It's not completely over for you then.
There is an unspoken reason that the Holy Church gives asylum and protection to those masters who have left the war. There's a high probability that any unpaired masters will receive the command seals left behind.
Yeah.
This is why Grail War masters try to kill rather than injure or temporarily incapacitate enemy masters.
Is there not a good chance that the command seals will be given to you again?
If, as Tokiomi has always suggested, the Holy Grail only chose me as a support mage to the Tosaka team, I have fulfilled that duty and am finished. Tokiomi already possesses a winning strategy.
But that all rests upon Gilgamesh being willing to actually comply.
He has never struck me as a man truly fit to be backed by the power and prestige of the Grail.
I am surprised that you have such harsh words to offer regarding your own master.
You seem to be mistaken as to who serves whom.
I mean, you are a servant by title.
I'm curious, what do you make of the command seals then?
I hate them. If a vassal is trying to become a better vassal, I don't mind listening to a differing opinion or two from time to time.
The command seal has a differing opinion. I love that perspective on it. I was hoping to see more interactions between Tokiomi and Gilgamesh over the show, because it's really just like episode 3 and then like a little bit during the caster fight, but that's it. Well, I mean, we know that like Gilgamesh is like, Tokiomi is such a boring person. I hate talking to him. You know, he kind of just gives orders from afar.
You mentioned earlier that Assassin had fulfilled all his missions before he was destroyed. What of the matter we discussed?
You mean your interest in learning the motives of each master for desiring the Grail? I should have had an assassin present the report to you in person last night.
No, this is better. I'm not interested in what that walking shade has to say. This report is meaningless to me unless it comes directly from your lips.
The homoerotic tension between these two. Fuck me.
How does it feel to...
Speaking of homoerotic tension, one thing I didn't really talk about, their casual wear outfits are so interesting because they each have like different parts of them that you can tell like, well, that's what they use to shift back into their armor. Saber has like that silver bracelet on. Ryder has those red wristbands, which, you know, goes into his red cloak. And then Gilgamesh has those gold bracelets and necklace. Cool details.
Yes, I think this is a splendid vehicle. I cannot help but wonder what would have happened had these existed back in my time.
World War I would have happened much sooner. Well, assuming there were cars and no tanks or planes or anything. Cars were made good back then.
If you're happy driving the car, then I'm happy too.
Even though she doesn't have a thumb.
Servant are absolutely amazing. This is your first time touching this machine, yet you're driving it perfectly. Oh, thank you.
We're swerving a lot right now. She's turning the wheel, but we're not fucking moving. Stop moving.
Rather than understanding it intellectually, my body instinctively knows what to do next.
Her riding skill.
The estate that is to be our new base of operations lies precisely in the heart of the main battlefield. Don't you worry about that, because secrecy is the hallmark of the Grail War.
Keep that in mind as we go forward. I know I've been saying up to this point a lot of just like, oh, I wish there was more time given to this or this. If someone out there is familiar with either the light novel or any other versions of Fate Stay Night that existed before the anime, let me know if those do exist, if there are like, you know, more fleshed out scenes for certain stuff, because I need to consume every aspect of this incredible show.
It's another very unusual building.
This place will be your base of operations.
How did he acquire this place?
If you could take those for me, Saber.
Trying to avoid touching stuff.
What does this key open? It's for the storehouse in the yard. It's fairly old, but I've confirmed that it is solidly built, so this may be somewhat lacking as a proper residence.
That's fine. For now, so long as it keeps us out of the rain, that's sufficient.
Again, me seeing this episode, just like, oh, cool, new pad. Obviously, Fate Stay Night fans just like, holy shit, it's the mansion, it's the place. And then like, oh, the storehouse in the back. Funny that Saber asks about it.
Let's go and explore our new place.
Let's have fun. I mean, I can see why he probably acquired it for cheap. It needs a lot of upkeep. Bars.
I told him once I wanted to see a Japanese mansion. Maybe Kiritsugu remembered I said that.
Maybe. Such a nice man.
Is our new base of operations not what you expected?
It's rather
This
open.
isn't really an ideal base for a mage. The magical barriers are well laid out, but for a workshop, well, when it's this open to the outside, the magic has lots of ways to leak out. I would have preferred a more secure room walled off with stone or clay.
The storehouse.
It's It's a bit small.
Again, like, it hits me much more now seeing these. Again, as much shit as I've been talking to Fate Stay Night, it is cool having these moments. It's sadly an experience I'll never get to have, you know, watching it the other way around where it's Fate Stay Night and then Zero. I mean, I'm glad I did watch it that way because really my love for this series starts and really ends with this show. But at the same time, I still have appreciation for just these moments. Saber played a huge part in her own summoning in the next war, much more than I ever realized. And it's just cool having her standing there in the doorway. It's like very similar framing to obviously the iconic shot in Stay Night.
Inscribing a magic circle here should be good enough to make it my own. Will you help me, Saber? We'll draw a magic circle right there, 6 feet in diameter. And don't worry, I'll tell you exactly how to do it. Will you do me a favor? Could you bring in the ingredients we left out in the trunk?
It seems all day today. You've acted as if you've been carefully avoiding touching anything. Driving the car, holding the keys. Those matters by themselves would not have caused me to worry, but now it is beginning to appear as if you're not even going to handle your own magic. If you are not feeling well today, it is important that you tell me about it.
Tokyomi said we're in the second stage.
I'm sorry. I couldn't keep this hidden for very long anyway. Your hand? I'm going to squeeze your hand as hard as I can using all the strength I can.
Iris feel?
I know it's weak, but this is all I can do right now. Grasping something or picking it up is beyond me.
She is the Grail vessel. We're getting close to that destined time. I've been that weak before. It's like a crazy thing. I'm gonna hold your hand as hard as I can just to show you, and it's just like, just barely. Of course, hers is different because she literally...
Dressing this morning was so difficult.
Have you been injured?
No, I'm just not feeling too well. So I've disabled my sense of touch. Just shutting down one of my senses allows me to control my power quite a bit.
Wild concept, but you see, I gotta remember she's not human. She's a homunculus. She can control all those aspects. I feel like that's the ultimate stage of human evolution that we need to reach or something. Just being able to access those parts of our bodies just so instantaneously. Today, I'm gonna shut off my hearing, or I'm gonna shut off my smell. I mean, there's days where I wish I could shut off my sense of sight. Touch is a weird one, though. There's senses that you can sort of shut off, like, you know, you can close your eyes or plug your nose, plug your ears, but like your taste and your touch, like, I mean, you can lose your sense of taste obviously if you're like sick or whatever, but your sense of touch, that's something you can't shut off really. You could try to replicate it by putting on like layers of gloves or something or whatever, but it's not the same because like your sense of touch, you're still able to move your hands and whatnot, but it's like you just can't feel what you're touching. I mean, not replicate it, but I mean, the closest thing is obviously like amputees or whatnot, or people who just don't have hands, but yet they have like bionic hands or something. It's like they don't have sense of touch, but like they can still obviously move their bionic fingers. It's just a wild concept.
Being able to do things like this is the specialty of a homunculus.
Yeah.
What exactly is wrong with you? Should you not go see a doctor?
She's not human.
Perhaps you may have forgotten, Saber, but I am not in any way a normal human being. I suppose you could say my condition stems from an inherent flaw in my creation.
I don't think it's a
What this
flaw.
means is I'm going to need for you to do a few things for me. I'm sorry, but I'll be depending on you, my brave and gallant knight. If I rest in a magic circle that's connected to local ley lines, my condition will improve. At least it should start to a little bit.
Speaking of fate, Bridget Hoffman is the voice of Iris Vale in this. A voice I need to remember more often, just because, though, like, when I think of, like, oh yeah, the dub voices in this, it's like, oh yeah, Matt Mercer, Crispin Freeman, Jameson Pierce, Kerry Walgren, David Vincent, Lucien Dodge. Like, I don't forget Irie's voice, but Bridget Hoffman's not a name I immediately think of, even though I should, because her voice, dude, she perfectly encapsulates that, like, motherly, like, oh, don't worry about me, it's okay. It's like, you can tell she's in pain, but yet she's still just, like, smiling through her words. Phenomenal voice. Taking that moment to acknowledge it.
With regards to Lancer's Master and Rider's Master, they appear to have no wish in particular that they plan to ask for should they happen to win the Holy Grail. They simply seek victory as a means to win glory as mages. And as for Castor's Master, he seems to have no real understanding as to what the Grail is. He is only taking part in the Holy Grail War as an extension of his interest in killing for fun. Regarding Berserker's Master, he is immature and seeks a measure of absolution above all else. He's now demanding that the family set free the younger Tosaka daughter whom they adopted. He has been given the assignment of winning the Holy Grail to secure his end of a bargain for her release. In a sense,
Talking a lot about Karia.
All of the 5 competing masters, he has the most unrefined and banal motives of them all.
Continue, Kirei.
It's Saber's master.
He kicked their asses, but yet he feels like he lost.
I was a fool to expect more from him.
What an utter disappointment.
It's for something else,
We
though.
go to all that trouble investigating, and that is all you have to say? Think of those whose effort has been wasted on you.
Wasted effort. The work put in by you, an assassin, has paid off rather handsomely. You are an obtuse man who cannot even recognize his own joy.
Imagine being described as obtuse. 1988, something Duchamp. 13%. At this point, it's a 6-year-old bottle of wine. Not too bad.
This expression of the soul appears in the form of interest or appreciation. Having you tell me what you've seen and heard was of great interest and importance to me. What you spoke about at the greatest length was what actually interested you the most. A conscious interest is no more than a simple obsession. Of the remaining 4 masters in the war, of which one did you speak about most passionately? Berserker's master.
Berserkers.
Karya, was it? When you told me about him, you spoke of his motivations in great detail.
His circumstances are complicated. Thus, they required the most detailed explanation out of all of them.
He was the only one you ordered Assassin to investigate to a thorough enough degree such that you could understand those circumstances. And this was due to your unconscious interest in him.
Wanted to know what that love looked like. What did it mean? Why does he do this for someone else?
It's true that in the long term, Karya Mato poses no threat. He was not worth the attention. My overestimation of his abilities has invited your unnecessary speculations about me.
Then imagine for me a scenario in which chance and fortune ensured that Berserker and his master survived the many battles and lasted until the end of the war. Is it not time that you finally understood the actual question that I am asking you?
What indeed?
What could possibly be the point in imagining Karya Mato's victory?
Come now. Don't be so angry.
Just that he might be a valuable
Think about it
player.
for a moment. Do you not agree there is a clear, unshakable meaning here?
Explain for me, Archer.
What a zesty pose.
If you had been given the same question but regarding the other masters, you would have perceived that there is no point to it, and you would have rejected it as a waste of time. That was not how it went with Karya. You abandoned your usual sharp wits and wasted your time in pointless thought. You found enjoyment in the exercise. Celebrate, Kirei. You have finally understood what pleasure is at long last.
Yorokobe shonen.
There is nothing in Karya Mato's fate that could bring a man any joy. His tortured life is nothing but an endless string of suffering and tragedy. A quick and unexpected death would actually be a blessing.
He goes out of his way to put it back, though.
Where is the paradox in finding suffering and tragedy simply other forms of joy? There is no one fixed type of joy.
King of heroes!
And he snaps a
A
bit.
sick inhuman monster such as yourself may find joy in some small amount of another's pain, but that is the soul of a godless sinner! An evil that must be punished! I have sworn to follow the path of pure faith in my life.
Pure
And
faith.
so you have defined joy itself as a sin.
Fascinating, though. One thing I didn't realize, this episode's longer than most. It's like 28 minutes. I get why, though, because the majority of it is this conversation. It kind of ties back to Saber talking in the previous episodes. Just like, do you even believe what you're saying? It's cool that Gilgamesh gets it, though. It's just like, he's working it out. Slowly, he's getting there. An evil that must be punished. That's the whole thing with Kirei. It's just like, he wears this cross, this golden cross. Like, he follows the church, but it's just, he doesn't necessarily believe in all of it. It's just something, you know. In the words of Aizen from Freyren, you know, it's just like, it's better to believe in something rather than nothing. But just him calling him out for just like, you find joy in some amount of another's pain. He's getting there, though. They're starting to meet in the middle. It's funny realizing that Gilgamesh is kind of the one that gets him to, because Kirei's character in the Japanese just like, you know, for like the Yorokobe shonen. He's the one telling him to rejoice. He's getting there. He's discovering his joy. But speaking of getting there,
Exactly as I expected.
This can't be. No servant has been freed from their pact.
It appears that the Holy Grail still expects much more from
Yeah.
Kirei Kotomine in this war.
I mean, the Grail itself could probably be said that, like, it exists outside the bounds of time and I mean, it kind of does, because it takes servants from different eras of time, brings them to the modern era, but it's just like, in a way, it probably sees the future and just like, Kirei Kotomine, I need you because I need to be born. I also need Gilgamesh.
Without a doubt, you have some hidden reason to seek this mystical wish granter. If this wish granting device is truly omnipotent, then it can give shape and substance to the wish that lies within the darkest depths of your heart.
My wish is to know my wish.
So you claim that since I do not know my desire, I should use the wish-granting device as a means to learn what it is? That can only happen if I enter the war as an independent mage and systematically crush 6 other wishes.
Including my master.
That I will have ruthlessly betrayed my own teacher and mentor.
Then you will need to have a strong servant on your side to fight for you. Of course, before any of that, you must steal a new servant for yourself. One already summoned and controlled by one of the other masters. No, I won't say it. Everything from this point forward is up to you.
Yeah, just gotta point him in the direction, though.
Pleasure leads to the experience of joy. And joy will lead you to happiness. Your path is now clear, Kirei. So clear, there is no longer any need to hesitate.
Episode 12, The Grail Beckons. That was simultaneously a quick and slower episode. Perfect. Well, that was episode 12 of Fate Zero. Again, that's one of those episodes that I feel like goes overlooked a lot, but it's also one of the more key episodes because it spells out what's gonna happen. Kirei takes the interest in Karya, which will play obviously into the end, and Gilgamesh just being like, oh, well, you're gonna need a servant not attached to a master, and well, I won't say it. Figure it out for yourself. It's poetic there, though, just like, you know, taking away the assassin piece, and then having the masterpiece in front of Archer being knocked over. Just like, well, I'm not gonna say it, but things could happen. This whole episode was really 2 scenes. It was Irie and Saber, you know, at the mansion, and then this conversation here. It's funny that an extended episode really is just for that, but, you know, I love it. Kirei, you know, he's getting there. Ultimately, this is gonna culminate in just Kirei realizing just like, oh, I take pleasure in people's pain, which sure, it's kind of the most like villain ideology thing, but you know, though I may not like the destination he arrives with that, I do like the journey that we take into Kirei getting to that realization, and just how much Gilgamesh is sort of manipulating him as well to get to that point. He views him as an equal in that sense. Though Gilgamesh has realized the ideal, he still seeks something from the Grail, something that they'll reach together, but that will not be for a while. But either way, this is my reaction to episode 12 of Fate Zero. Jump next time for episode 13, so everything else will be coming out soon. Until next time, I'm Lancer. Thanks for watching.